Florida Republican Congressman Greg Steube is on the House Judiciary Committee that you were just listening to. Thank you for joining us, Congressman. So it strikes me that we spent almost 8 hours today watching these hearings, that the main takeaway from today was it looks like it was all about interpreting the Constitution. Republicans say don't interpret it, go by the letter of the word of the Constitution. And Democrats seem to say that you can interpret what the meaning is of high crimes and misdemeanors. What am I missing?
Well, you have a bunch of law professors giving their opinions. You have no facts. You have no factual basis. The Judiciary Committee is historically where the committee that takes the evidence to make a decision based on the evidence, whether there is an impeachable offense or not. As I stated in my remarks today, during the evidence collection in the Intel Committee, the president wasn't allowed to offer their witnesses. The Republicans weren't allowed to offer their witnesses. The president was allowed to cross-examine their witnesses, like it has happened in Nixon and in Clinton. So you're not even dealing with a factual basis. You have 4 law professors, all of which were self-proclaimed Democrats today, 3 of which think that he should be impeached, and 1 doesn't think that he should be impeached, the 1 Republican witness. So it's all opinions and conjectures, and there's nothing that was laid out today that would be an evidentiary basis for the impeachment of President Trump.
Congressman, for those of us who maybe don't understand the proceedings and how these hearings go, how much of that was orchestrated? Now, we saw the opening comments by both. Before the first Republican was offered an opportunity to ask questions, he wanted to submit bringing the whistleblower to the hearing, and it was summarily rejected by the Democrats. How much of that was planned out in advance? Just give us a behind the scenes of what goes on.
Well, the Democrats have planned out this entire affair. I mean, let's start from the beginning of when I got sworn into Congress, where first it was the Russia collusion hoax, and then we had Bob Mueller come into the committee and testify, and he testified there wasn't any collusion, and so that didn't work out for the Democrats. So then it went to obstruction of justice, and that kind of fizzled out, and then it was corruption, and that didn't work out for them. So now it's this whistleblower that we now know was coordinating with Chairman Schiff's staff to coordinate the application of the whistleblower's complaint. And then the Intel Committee is the one that gathered all the evidence, not the Judiciary Committee. And now it's like we're going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. We talked about bribery today. We talked about extortion. We talked about collusion. We talked about we're bringing the Mueller report back up because they can't find something that actually qualifies as an impeachable offense. So they're going to say, well, all of this can be impeachable. And then they're going to have a bunch of Harvard and Stanford law professors come and say, well, any of this conduct could be impeachable.
What was your takeaway? I think one of the most defining moments of at least this hearing, day one, was when the Democrats' expert testimony witness used Barron Trump, Donald Trump's 13 or 14-year-old son, as an example on almost like a joke, and I heard laughing in the courtroom or in the hearing room. What went through your mind when that happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have the Democratic witnesses personally attacking the name of the president's son, not anything of any substantive issue, like personally attacking the president because of what the president named his son. I mean, that's the level to which the witnesses went today. And so that just shows how much of a charade this is to try to say that there's some impeachment basis and there's factually not. I mean, go back to the evidence. I talked about that the entire time. There's been no collusion. There's no obstruction. There's no evidence of bribery. And our witness testified today that what Schiff calls bribery isn't actually an impeachable bribery under the Constitution. And I think it falls on deaf ears to the American people. Unless you're a lawyer, and even if you are a lawyer, you probably were bored with some of the conversation. And I don't think the general public understands what all these law professors were talking about.
Well,
today.
you know what we do,
the bottom
sir,
line is, the president didn't commit a crime that's an impeachable offense.
You know, we do appreciate your time. You literally left that hearing room, came right to our cameras. Again, Congressman Greg Steube, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.